You heard what Eamon just said. You heard how this has kind of been described. The idea that the Republican caucus itself isn't in agreement on what comes next. Would you agree with that assessment?
I think he sized it up pretty well, and I think mostly what we're seeing is posturing. I've been here a little over a year and a half, and this framework generally comes into play on almost anything significant. I think you're seeing it in the market, though, two things: that we're going to get a deal done, and that the economy was so good pre-COVID, it's driving it in that fashion. So I think it's a convergence of the market reflecting probably what's happening. So when it comes down to what will it be, there'll be some type of enhanced unemployment benefit. Every entrepreneur, every Main Street business owner, medium, large companies back in Indiana say they're having trouble getting people back to work. And part of it is because of the one we did back in March, which every Republican thought was too high then. We had an amendment. It didn't pass because we got no Democrats on it. So I think that's the linchpin. And then Schumer saying that the scale and the seriousness of it, many of us think that getting back to the economy we had before, maybe addressing some omissions and errors and taking care of the people that have been displaced, along with some of the businesses disproportionately hurt, that probably wouldn't add up to $1 trillion. It'd be less. So that top line will get some Republicans, conservatives, fiscally conservative folks like me, and there are more of us now than what there would have been before, because we throw trillions around like hundreds of billions, and we are borrowing every penny. You know, nobody's worried about that now, but that will come home to roost sooner or later. But there will be something done. It's a question of time.
Senator, how many senators in your caucus would you put in that description of what you just said? More conservative, don't want to see as much money being spent.
Yeah. So Ron Johnson and I did the proposal for a $200 benefit and or up to 66% of the wage that was in place before at the state's option. That, I think, will get buy-in from fiscal conservatives and business owners and probably people that are out there, you know, not working that need to come back. So whether that'll be the part on the enhanced unemployment benefit or something more kind of rich for the other side, I don't know. When it comes to some of the extraneous stuff that the Democrats have in the HEROES Act, I think they are already knowing that that's not going to fly. That's why you're seeing Schumer talk about maybe getting something done more practical in nature.
Are you considering money to states and municipalities that have been particularly hit hard as something that you put as extraneous in that camp?
I would, because I don't think we can correct maybe poor fiscal management, poor management in many of these states, and that mostly then gets political because it's pretty defined in terms of where those issues are. That gets to take this package into the multi-trillions, and then you're going to get a cascade of Republicans that fall off regardless of the content just due to the top line.
You did hear, though, that Eamon also suggested that Mitch McConnell might cut with his own caucus and leave you guys out if you're not willing to go along with a deal that gets something done, something the president would like to see done.
You know, the leader's in a tough spot because this is testing kind of the mettle of anybody here when it comes to maybe looking a little farther down the road. He did say that, and that's generally the way things do end up. In the year and a half I've been here, that gets orchestrated at a level that many of us have to say, well, we take it or leave it. If that top line is big, I think there'll be enough votes to get it across the finish line. You'll just see more than the normal amount of Republican defections.